View the latest updates and breaking news today on U.S. federal contracting, executive orders, policy changes, and contract awards at GovCon Community. Contract awards. In today's defense contract update, the Department of Defense has announced several major awards across the Navy, Air Force, and Defense Logistics Agency, totaling billions in funding for military operations, maintenance, and advanced technology programs. Starting with the Navy, multiple companies have secured key contracts. The largest is a $10 billion multiple award deal for worldwide expeditionary support, including logistics, humanitarian assistance, and disaster relief. This contract involves 701C LLC, Anovion LLC, and 5 other firms, with work scheduled through December 2029, extendable to 2034. Other notable Navy contracts include $1.12 billion for submarine repair, maintenance, and modernization with GSE Dynamics Inc., completing by August 2030. $647 million for Trident II missile production and support, awarded to Lockheed Martin Space, running through September 2030. $500 million for Trident II strategic weapons system engineering support to Systems Planning and Analysis Inc., lasting until September 2035. Additional awards to Lockheed Martin for torpedo components and infrared search and track systems, totaling nearly $480 million. Turning to the Air Force, major awards focus on aircraft maintenance, sustainment, and space systems. Amentum Services, Inc. received a $995 million contract to maintain MQ-9 Reaper remotely piloted aircraft globally through September 2030. Vertex Modernization and Sustainment LLC was awarded $425 million for center display units and related support through September 2035. Smaller contracts include $99 million for aircraft egress components, $95 million for Space Development Agency systems engineering, and $87.1 million for the Next Generation Overhead Persistent Infrared Satellite Program. The Defense Logistics Agency also made significant awards supporting Army vehicle systems and aviation parts. Intuitive Research and Technology Corp. won $179.4 million for flight vehicle parts, supporting the U.S. Army, federal agencies, and Ukraine, completing by August 2028. BAE Systems Land and Armaments received $97.9 million to retrofit the Bradley fighting vehicle system. ETI Tech LLC secured $45.5 million for passenger seats for the C-5 aircraft through September 2029. These contracts reflect the Department of Defense's ongoing commitment to strengthening military readiness, advancing technology, and supporting global operations. We'll continue to track these developments as projects progress over the coming years. The U.S. Small Business Administration has awarded $1.1 million in grants to support small manufacturers under its Empower to Grow, or E2G program. These grants aim to strengthen American manufacturing, create jobs, and enhance national security. The funds will provide training, technical assistance, and workforce development for small manufacturers in critical industries across Ohio, West Virginia, and Tennessee. The Ohio State University's Center for Design and Manufacturing Excellence will offer hands-on training for assemblers, machinists, inspectors, and other production workers, covering skills from manual machining and 3D printing to industrial automation and emerging technologies. The Bluefield West Virginia Economic Development Authority will lead the Bluefield Build initiative, connecting manufacturers with workforce development programs, community colleges, and customized operator training. The program will focus on both technical and leadership skills to strengthen the local talent pipeline. And the University of Tennessee Center for Industrial Services will provide workforce training and process improvement support to small manufacturers statewide, targeting rural and underserved areas to address workforce shortages and operational inefficiencies. SBA Administrator Kelly Loeffler emphasized that these grants are part of a broader effort to restore American industrial strength. By supporting small manufacturers with capital, training, and technical resources, the program aims to help entrepreneurs expand their operations and create jobs, keeping production made in America by Americans. As of 12:01 a.m. Wednesday, the federal government has officially entered a shutdown after congressional appropriations ran out. Agencies across the federal government have implemented contingency plans, detailing which operations will continue and which employees will be furloughed. The Office of Management and Budget will not be compiling a central listing of agency plans this year, instead directing the public to individual agency websites for guidance. According to the Congressional Budget Office, an estimated 750,000 federal employees could be furloughed each day, with daily compensation costs reaching roughly $400 million. Here's a snapshot of some of the impacts. State Department, 16,651 employees furloughed, with 10,344 continuing essential functions such as consular services and national security work. Defense Department, 334,904 civilian personnel furloughed, while military and active duty personnel continue operations. Commerce Department, about 6,500 employees continue essential services related to weather, climate, law enforcement, and fisheries. Agriculture Department, 42,256 USDA employees furloughed. Essential services, including farm loans, nutrition programs, and wildfire response, will continue. Education Department, roughly 2,000 employees furloughed, while student aid and existing grants will continue. Social Security Administration, 6,197 employees furloughed. Critical IT and fraud prevention work continues. NASA, 15,094 employees furloughed. Critical programs like the International Space Station and Artemis mission continue operations. Other agencies, including the Department of Homeland Security, Department of Veterans Affairs, HHS, DOJ, and Treasury, have also outlined which activities are exempt from furlough. Essential functions like law enforcement, veteran medical care, Medicare and Medicaid support, and air traffic control will continue during the shutdown. The General Services Administration may soon limit how much value-added resellers, or VARs, can earn on government contracts. Sources tell Federal News Network that Federal Acquisition Service Commissioner Josh Gruenbaum is expected to issue a memo in the coming weeks proposing a 5% cap on VAR markups. The proposed policy would apply to contracts managed through GSA schedules, with some exceptions requiring additional approval and cost analysis. The move is part of a broader effort to reduce what the government pays contractors, but industry experts warn it could disrupt the reseller market and reduce efficiency. Critics argue that a one-size-fits-all cap fails to account for the complexity and value VARs provide. Some VARs handle highly technical services, including cyber expertise and specialized engineering support. Setting a flat 5% limit on all markups could discourage innovation, limit competition, and ultimately increase costs for the government. Experts also question whether GSA has the legal authority to enforce such caps without violating federal acquisition laws. Former officials suggest the agency would be better served by improving negotiation strategies rather than imposing rigid price controls. As the government considers the memo, the debate continues over how to balance cost savings with maintaining a healthy competitive marketplace for contractors supporting federal operations. Federal agencies are preparing to begin mass layoffs in the coming days, White House officials confirmed Wednesday, marking an unprecedented escalation in the management of government shutdowns. Vice President J.D. Vance and Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt said the reductions in force are being planned in response to the ongoing shutdown, though no final decisions have been made on specific personnel. Agencies are following standard shutdown procedures, with roughly 550,000 employees already placed on unpaid furlough. Officials say the layoffs are intended to ensure essential services continue while agencies operate without annual appropriations. The Trump administration has directed cabinet members to develop plans for staffing reductions, with a 60-day notice period expected for any affected employees. The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office has already implemented a small reduction, laying off about 1% of its workforce. Other agencies, including the Interior Department, are reportedly preparing similar actions. Officials stressed that final plans may be revised once government funding is restored. The announcement has sparked immediate legal and political pushback. The American Federation of Government Employees and Democracy Forward have filed a lawsuit challenging the administration's authority to order permanent layoffs. Democrats have criticized the move, calling it an overreach and a threat to workers' rights. Meanwhile, Office of Management and Budget Director Russ Vought has begun withholding targeted federal funds, including $18 billion in New York City infrastructure projects and $8 billion in Energy Department funding to multiple states, raising further legal and political concerns. As the shutdown continues, the federal workforce faces uncertainty and potential permanent job losses, while the government navigates legal challenges and budget restrictions. We'll continue to follow developments and report on which agencies are next to implement reductions in force. For the latest on federal technology, defense, and government contracting, visit www.govcon.community. That's all for this week. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week at the same time. Until then, have a great weekend.